Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare Actual. Thanks for stopping by. So, I need to talk about the biggest mangina I have ever met. But before I get into it, I've had a lot going on. There's really good reasons why I haven't put out any new content, even though I really want to. There's so many things that we as men need to talk about. The suicide rate of men, the incarceration rate of men, the drug addiction rate of men and boys, the shaming in our culture and society of men simply for adopting and holding on to masculine values. This truly is the end of civilization, or at least the civilization as we know it. And for me to come to you now with this kind of low-level personal story bullshit, it's shocking to me, But if you understood the constraints that I'm under as far as producing content goes, and the level of frustration I'm dealing with in some of these situations, I think you'd give me a pass. I think you'd be, Howard, it's totally cool. So let me tell you a little bit what I'm talking about, all right? As you may or may not be aware, I am under the thumb of an authoritative, tyrannical criminal justice system of the state. And of course, it's gynocentric. Did I mention that? And of course, it's run by, manginas, men who wish to please the women and the current status quo. And of course, the current status quo is that anything masculine, anything individualistic, anything independent, anything that demonstrates any sort of strength or ability has to be shut down, because this is, of course, offensive to the group. You understand that, and I'll get into this later. As we become more civilized, as we become more cultured, as we become more woke, what we're really saying is we have to shut down individual achievement. Yes, we are the last men, as Nietzsche spoke of them. This is the struggle. This is what we're facing right now. And I'll put it to you simply, either you run with the pack or you're the pack bitch. Right, that's a line from the movie Blood and Bone with Kimbo Slice right before he gets his ass beat. But I liked him, right? Either you go along with the status quo, which is we're all equal and we're all the same and nobody is special, because that's a little frightening. You know what I mean? If you've got some individualistic ideas going on and you can express them in a manner that is compelling, holy shit, you're going to upset a lot of people. And if you're running a multi-billion-dollar operation, the last thing that you want to do is upset the people. And the people are a crowd. They are a homogeneous herd. They are lukewarm. They are mediocre. They are average, okay? And what society does is it beats and threatens this characteristic out of the individuals. Hence, turning men into manginas. An interesting question. Is being a nice guy killing you? And the answer is yes, it is. Because inside, you don't really want to be nice about any of this bullshit. Like you had dreams at some point when you were younger. You know what I mean? Like you were a kid and you were like, well, I want to be the president. Nah, I want to be a fireman. Nah, I want to be a race car driver. Nah, I want to be a famous brain surgeon. Okay? Nah, I want to run a multi-billion-dollar international corporation. This is an individual life situation. That's what you are. You are an individual, okay? But if you express these ideas and if you act on these ideas, the crowd says to you, who do you think you are? You think you're special? You're nobody. You're no better than the rest of us. Either you run with the pack or you're the pack bitch. And so the boy, the young man, gives up. And he says, I want to be just like my father. I want to be just like the other men all around me. I don't want to cause waves. I want to be a nice guy. And if I'm a nice guy, people will like me. Like, I'll do things for them. And they'll like me. And I'll be helpful. Okay? So when somebody then comes to you and says, we're going to take 40% of your income, and you don't even have enough to survive. And you're like, wow, this sucks. I don't like this at all. Who the hell are you? The people around you are like, but you don't want to see other people suffer, do you? And the truth is, if these people are destined to suffer, they are destined to suffer. So what they're really saying to you is, if you don't go along with this herd mentality, with this herd morality, then we are going to kick you out of the group. We will exclude you. So give up your individuality. Give up your hopes and dreams. Give up your personal preferences. Give up your values. Oh, you might like to get together with a woman someday. Well, sorry, it's going to be a man who's transitioned into a woman. And if you don't act like you're really happy with that, my friend, well, then you're a misogynist. Then you're against the group and you're against society. Beauty is only skin deep. Okay, so if you're attracted to one, well, that's really not being fair, is it? And if you like one particular food over another, well, you're not really being open-minded, are you? And you want to be a nice guy because you want to fit in. So you've got to give it all up, okay? That's the deal. That's the game we're playing here. And if you hold on to your individuality, you will stand out like a sore thumb, and the herd will punish you. And it'll get so bad that, of course, you will recognize that you are MGTOW. But what happens if you do give it all up? If you let them tell you what your values are? What happens now? Are you now the nice guy who fits into the group that everybody loves? Or are you now the man who's betrayed himself? I say you're the man who's betrayed himself. All right? So what we're looking at is group validation through self-debasement. All right? The more that the man can debase being a man, the more he is accepted into the group of, I don't know what you could call them. I really don't. Now, this is where being a nice guy makes you sick, okay? Because you're going to give up everything. You're going to give up all your standards, all your values, and you're going to think, this is the crux of, what's driving MGTOW to a large degree. And you're going to think, as a result of being this good man, this nice guy, that you're going to have a good life. But you're not, because now you are the pack bitch. Now you are running with the pack. Now you have betrayed every last bit of individuality. And that's going to cause resentment, an internal type of resentment that destroys your parasympathetic nervous system. In other words, your digestion is going to get messed up. Right? And I'm putting it mildly. And then, of course, your hormones are going to get messed up. And then, of course, you're not going to be able to put on muscle. And then, of course, you're going to gain weight. And you've got to eat what everybody else eats. Like, God forbid that, you should buy yourself a whole bunch of ground beef and some ribeyes and live on that, right? Because that'll give you heart disease. But it won't. That's exactly what the lion eats, okay? Let's toss in some internal organs in there, too. That's what they eat. No self-respecting animal eats vegetables. Anyway, I'm going off track here, okay? Paleo, keto, carnivore. Just go easy on the carbs, okay? Anyway, what happens if the man actually believes all this shit? What if the man just can't debase himself enough? What if the man actually thinks that his value as a man is his willingness to debase himself to the group? That's what you're looking at. That's what we're dealing with right now. So we're going to make a virtue out of your self-debasement. And if you'll do it, the others around you will approve of you. They'll be like, hey, welcome to the herd. Yeah, come on over here, chew on some grass. Have some broccoli. Have some asparagus. Don't even think about what it's going to actually do to your internal organs and your digestion, as you're moving through the day, and your life as you're moving through your life. What kind of a man is that? What would Nietzsche say? Who is this man? What is this man? Because I'll tell you, I have to deal with this type of man. And can you think of a more striking contrast? A more stark counterpoint. Howard Dare and the maximum angina. Right? Like, get this man a tampon, please, because he's having sympathetic periods. And then what happens is that this type of man, and this is an interesting phenomenon, actually believes that this is the virtue of man. The values are inverted, and whatever values he's adopting, they become the good values. And whatever values are contrary are the evil values. It's a very simplistic view, It's kind of something that you want to latch on to. It's a real simple heuristic. But this is the delusion. This is the illusion that the betrayed individual must tell themselves. Otherwise, how could they live with themselves? And not only is it a betrayal of the self, now it gets projected onto the other men around you, or around them, pardon me. I'm not talking about you, okay? I'm talking about this in a cautionary sense. I want you to avoid this, although I can't really give you the roadmap to get you through this. I don't even have it. So there he is, the world's biggest mangina. He believes that the more willing he is to clean another person's toilet, the better of a man he is. And now he has a son, and now he has some good friends. And what he says to them is, don't get your sleep at night, but get yourself up in the middle of the night and clean the toilet for everybody. And then you'll be a real man, just like me. But he's a completely broken man. He's weak, he's out of shape. Get this, for all of his goodness, you know what he likes to do with his spare time? He likes to watch extremely violent media. He delights in it. He delights in watching men and human beings cut to ribbons. Do we have some sort of psychological explanation for this? Because I surely do. Pretty simplistic, right? He's betrayed himself. He's adopted the values of the group, which deny him his individuality. He has taken his individuality as if it were evil, okay, and shunned it. Now he has debased himself, all of his values, to the group. And now he's projecting that expectation onto the culture around him. He's been completely indoctrinated against himself. Imagine even if he gets everything he wants in life, like all the money and whatever, what has he gotten? He's gotten nothing. What does it profit a man to win the world, but to lose his soul, to betray his own values? Now, we have to adopt our values to the group to a degree, because we need to get along. But do we need to become a herd animal? Is that what you want? Is there security and comfort in that situation for you? And what's driving the desire to do this? Is it the desire to be accepted? Think carefully, because it's not. It's the fear of being abandoned and rejected. So, whatever it is you like, I'll bring you into a group of people who like just the opposite. Oh, you thought being on time and speaking respectfully and trying to do a good job was a virtue? Well, we as a group have decided that being late and speaking incoherently and butchering your own language and adopting the language of other people, we've decided that this is inclusive. So who's Shakespeare? Who's Beethoven? Who's Da Vinci? Who's any great individual? Who's Napoleon? Right? Oh, he's a monster. No, he's a shooting star. He is one of your highest examples of what a human being can accomplish in this world. He is what you wanted to be when you were young. But you gave it up. You thought, oh, I can't be like that. No. You can't command. You can't lead. You have to follow orders. You have to be part of the group. You can't be too ambitious. You can't be too outspoken. Because if you are, the group is going to get uncomfortable. So now what is this man? Now this man is someone who has betrayed himself out of fear, has given up his own values, has now debased himself to the lowest level. I just want to be a servant and help people. Okay. I mean, there's some nobility, right? Maybe, I don't know. But how do you feel about that? Being such a nice guy. Isn't there a part of you that says, wow, I don't like to eat mush? Isn't there a part of you that says, wow, I like this music? Isn't there a part of you that says, I'm not like that other person, and they're not like me, and I don't want to be like that other person? Isn't Is it still there? Is that spark still there? Because if it is, we're gonna bring it out. We're gonna build it up. Okay? You think that your servant, your place in this universe is your willingness and ability to subjugate yourself? Is that it? So how can you command? How can you lead? How can you teach a son? How could you teach another man? How can you lead yourself? That's a betrayal of the self. I'm not saying that a person needs to be this monster, egotistical, self-absorbed sycophant. Well, no, that's not the right word. Just compulsive psychopath. But maybe a little bit. Maybe if you want to be that CEO of that multinational corporation and have world domination, maybe if you want the world to look to you and to say, thank you, we needed that, okay? That's your job, okay? You've got a life. What are you going to do? Get fat? Fulfill your desires? Watch TV shows and movies that you don't understand why you are driven to like them? The mangina, the nice guy, the herd man, if you can call him that, why does he delight in violent media? Because internally, inside, that's what he's feeling. That's his anger. But now I'm going to give you a movie of a 5'2", 100-pound girl killing 100 men. And all the people around you, especially the women, they're going to applaud. They're going to love it. They're going to lick it up. And what are you going to do? Well, if you're like most men in this day and age, you're going to nod your head and you're going to go along. You know, one of the things that they do with musical acts, and they've always done with musical acts, is they come into town and they give out free tickets to all the girls, all the attractive young women. And they say, bring your friends and scream and applaud. Pretend like you like it. So they do. And the men follow along because that's where the women are. And they are driven to conquer and dominate and acquire these things. This is a force of life. This is the force of which you are born, and I am born. This is the force of all life to dominate, to grow, not to subjugate, but to dominate. We are the last men. This is your one life. Look inside of yourself. Face the truth. Face your fears. Face your betrayal of the self to fit in. Understand you're only human. You don't want to be alone. But I suppose that's the choice, isn't it? What would you rather be? A mangina that's part of the group, that for other men to be around, they become sick and ill because the coin of the realm is your own debasement? Teaching your son to kiss ass? Teaching your son to act like a coward? Making a virtue of turning the other cheek out of fear, not out of compassion. Is that a virtue? Will you be proud of yourself for doing that? You will not. It will break you. And then you will have to delude yourself in order to accept yourself. And I'm saying to you, don't do it. I'm saying get back in touch with that individual life force that you were born from. Nurture it, grow it, build it. What the hell do you care about anything else? What do you care about anything but your work and your rest in order to do more of your work? Sure, you want to have a little food along the way. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Please donate to the Howard Dare channel. Please. I could really use your help. So yeah, you want to be comfortable along the way. You want to have a secure and stable enough environment that you can do your work. But what else is there? Do you want a pat on the back? Is that necessary? Is that what's important? So when you're all done, you're going to say, well, I got a pat on the back? No, you don't care about that either. You care about your results. What is a man, right? We've got this question. Yeah, right. What is a woman? What is a man? What is a human being, okay? Are you not your intention, your directed intention? That's one part of it. And then, are you not your productive work? So are you not what you set out to do in your mind, and then what you actually do in the world? Isn't that what you are? Isn't that all that's left? Can we build that back up, please? Can we make that strong? Can we value that? Can we hold that above all other things? Because if you can, the world and everything in it is yours, my son. And what's more, you will be a man. So, I'll tell you more about the biggest mangina I have ever met in another video, because just to be around this type of a man makes other people, really, really sick. I'm actually saying something more than that, but I don't want to say it, directly, explicitly, okay? But no life form, no animal, no bird, no dog, no cat, maybe a fish, because they're so stupid. They really are. Maybe a fish can be around him, but no child can be around it. No dog can be around it. Fish have really small brains, they're swimming around the aquarium and they're like, oh shit, look, it's a castle, right? And then they swim around the aquarium again and they come back to the same castle and they're like, oh shit, look, it's a castle. And they forget that they saw it the first time, So they can't really do complicated math, right? But then again, neither can I. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll talk more about it. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, especially donate. As a matter of fact, you can skip all those others and just click on my CashApp link and, make yourself, a $20 donation to the Howard Dare channel, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to make any content at all. And I don't think there's very many people making content like me. So, and I like to think that it's valuable. So click on the CashApp donation link and help out your MGTOW brother to help out more MGTOW brothers, so that the men do not fall into this trap of becoming the mangina. So join me again as I sincerely hope to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.